This is Reverend Pastor Lucy Natasha, if you can believe that. That this woman that you're looking at right now is a preacher, presumably of Jesus, of the Word of God. This is someone who's claiming that they represent God. She represents the new class, the new generation of African coconuts. Now, if you don't know what a coconut means, a coconut simply means a person who's on the outside is an African, but on the inside, they're a Mzungu. Brown on the outside, white on the inside, with a whole lot of space full of emptiness and water. This is the new generation of coconut in Kenya. As I've told you before, Kenya has been destroyed by these coconuts, these sellouts, these Judases, this class of Africans who really truly believe within themselves that they are a Mzungu. And they deny their Africanness. They do everything to erase their Africanness. They do everything to push the population to worship the Mzungu as God. They do everything. So, in this situation, as you can clearly see, this Lucy Natasha has totally erased her Africanness to the point that one of the first things that she did was to get rid of her African name. Now she has two Mzungu names. Isn't it funny that it is only Africans who glorify the people who hate them more than anything? To the point that you get rid of your name and you take the name of your colonizer, the name of your enslaver. Think. Something is wrong mentally. Now, what is really sad, especially in the situation of Kenya, is that this new generation of Afro coconuts, in their determination to be one with Mzungu, they are now, all of them, they are now selling out and becoming Luciferians. These are people selling out their souls to the devil, but not the African devil. No. The Mzungu one. The Mzungu one. They want to obey the Mzungu cult of Luciferianism. And so, it is really sad that, you know, as Kenya progresses, you can see that the people who are Satanists, the devil worshippers, have tightened their grip on the culture of Kenya. Now, the church was one of the last, you know, strongholds, presumably of goodness and righteousness and holiness. But now it has been infiltrated by these Luciferians, by these devil worshippers. So, in this context, we find a person called Lucy Natasha, claiming to be a preacher of the Word of God and doing everything within her power to embarrass God. Everything about her behavior has nothing to do with godliness, nothing to do with righteousness, nothing to do with Jesus. And my problem with her is not that she chooses to become a devil worshipper. Quite frankly, I don't care about that. The larger issue is what is happening within the larger within the culture, what they're trying to do, what this class of traitors is trying to do. What she's doing is she's modeling the image of a quote-unquote modern woman. Okay, so the idol that she's creating is for the young girls to look up to, is an image which is flashy, looks very successful, has a lot of money, you know, looks as if it's respectable, but devoid of Africanness. My issue in this situation is the fact that whatever they're putting on a pedestal is anything but African. They are doing everything to move away from being African, to be Mzungu, to model an Afro Mzungu. a coconut. So that when the young girls look at her, they immediately start to erase also the African names. And that is the current trend happening now. Many of these young girls that are following this model are erasing the African name. And the more we get these traitors within the culture, the more poor we get. Because if you hate yourself so much that a preacher in church is the one who's encouraging you to hate yourself. Hate yourself. She has bleached her skin. And that's the message she's sending to every woman, that you're ugly. You are only beautiful if you look like the descendants of the Nephilim. She always has fake Mzungu hair. Why? To send the message that you are not beautiful. Your hair is not beautiful the way God made it. And so she's leading this effort in self-hatred and self-rejection. And when you look at some of the clothes that she puts on, these are all foreign brands. You will never see these people who are in leadership positions in Kenya pushing anything local. You'll never see them pushing a local brand. So there are no factories in Kenya. There's like total poverty in Kenya. Instead of pushing our own brands and encouraging people, buy our own brands, let's build ourselves up. No. They do everything to push foreign brands. You should look at the clothes that she wears. Does everything to push foreign brands, so that the foreign brands gain larger and larger market share, and we never get to have our own brands. We never get to build up our own industry. And so that escalates the poverty, which is where I come in. Because the Church RV is a political party that is dedicated to fight against poverty. So the issue here is not, we really don't care much about her as a person, okay? We care about the social effect of having people who are thought leaders pushing foreign brands in the country, pushing foreign concepts in the country, because it creates more and more poverty as more and more people are persuaded that what is foreign is better than what is local. That is the main issue. Now, on a different level, there's also a moral issue. And one of the questions we keep on asking is that majority of the people of Kenya are not devil worshippers. So why should we be ruled by devil worshippers? Majority of the people who go to church are not devil worshippers. So why should all the preachers be devil worshippers? Why are we allowing devil worshippers to become preachers and to pretend that they're preachers? And they're casting spells over the whole country. You know, bringing more and more evil into the country. I mean, when you look at the lifestyle that she portrays, that is not the lifestyle of our mothers. I mean, when you were growing up, someone like that one, if my parents would have seen someone like that one behaving that way, they would have said, this has to be some kind of, you know, prostitute or something like that. But guess what? Now the prostitutes, people are now preachers. People who would not have been allowed to enter church dressed up the way they are dressed up, as if they're going on a fashion show. Now they are the preacher. The socialite is now the preacher. Think about that. The socialite now is the preacher. You're being preached at by a socialite. A socialite is the one who's now showing you how to enter heaven. Think of the absurdity of that situation. Do they even know where heaven is? So you look at this person, unmarried, very flashy, has bodyguards. I don't know why preachers need bodyguards. I mean, if you have faith in God, why do you need bodyguards? And the bodyguards don't even look like bodyguards. They look like boyfriends. It looks like a cult. Right? Something very bizarre is happening. And even after she got rid of her African name, she chose two names that are very interesting. She chose Natasha and Lucy. Now, for people who are aware of the occult, and they have an idea of how these things go. And these things are very deep. I'm not even scratching the surface, and I don't want to go there. But it is interesting to note the choice of name that she chose for herself. If you didn't know, let me just tell you, Natasha is Satan spelled backwards. And Lucy is the short form of Lucifer. So you have a preacher of God, in huge quotes, going by the name Satan Lucifer, trying to show you the way into heaven. And this is the person that is praised by the political elite as an example for the children to follow. So, as a political party, we are completely opposed to brainwashed devil worshippers taking over the culture. So, if you, as a Kenya, you're sick and tired of this, all the evil that is happening, come and join our political party. We are the only political party, the only political organization in Kenya right now that is not dominated by Luciferians and Satanists. Which is why I'm able to stand up here and call them out and openly condemn them for what they are doing. You will never hear any politician in Kenya stand up and condemn things like this. Why? Because they are all in it together. They are all in it together. So we have all these fake preachers, all these people who are doing everything in their power to prepare the way. If you didn't know, what's the point? The point is this. This is what they're trying to do. And these are the instructions from Mzungu, because the instructions always come from Mzungu. That is who they call God. That is who they worship. And so the instruction is to prepare the way for Dajjal. They are doing everything to prepare the way for Dajjal. And Kenya, if you didn't know this about Kenya, Kenya is known as a pivot country. If you can convert Kenya, you can capture East Africa. Okay? If you can convert Nigeria, you can capture West Africa. If you can capture South Africa, or if you can convert South Africa, you can capture Southern Africa. And so, because Kenya is a pivot country, all the evil plans that the Mzungu has are first tried out in Kenya. They start with Kenya, and then they work out the details in Kenya, and then they spread it throughout Eastern and Central Africa. So Kenya is known as the place where they come to experiment. Like it's so that's why you're seeing an influx of this sort of activity in Kenya. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to change the culture. Okay, they're trying to destroy the culture, to move it as far away as possible from whatever can be considered African. Because whatever can be considered African is also very religious. Okay? And religion is the enemy of luciferianism. Okay? So you have to move the culture away from being religious. And so you make famous, or you raise up these people, you put them in the culture, you give them a lot of attention, you throw money at them, and then you use them to change the other culture. And so they realize that in the case of Kenya, that it's very difficult to convert the men. So they started an attack on the women. So they started pushing all this, a lesbian agenda. You saw it, and you've been seeing it. And you've been wondering what is going on. It is deliberate and intention. So it's to start with the women. Once you convert the women, you move the women away from their culture, then you can break down the men. So when you see people like this ones, these are traitors. These are people who should be tried for treason because of the larger agenda of what they're trying to do. And we, as a political organization, we are 100% opposed to that. 100% opposed to whatever the hell they're trying to do. And we're inviting you to join us to stand up against this evil. So you will always see, when just look at some of the things that she does. Just look at the uniforms that she puts on. They always have 3 stripes. Always have 3 stripes. Look at, the hand motions. They always pose with peculiar hand motions that normal people don't do that. So you need to understand that we have to oppose this cult that is determined to destroy our country. Join the Church RV. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment below. Kenya's time has come. Our time has come. Your time has come. A time to succeed and not fail. A time to grow wealth and not poverty. A time to go up and not down. It's time for you to stop walking and drive your car. Stop renting and buy yourself a house. It's your time to get blessed. Join the CCV movement, and together let us kick poverty and unemployment out of Kenya. Become a member today. Donate what you can. And remember that the CCV is the only political organization in Kenya that is squarely built upon Christian values, unlike the rest. We'll see you next time. Thank you.